누구냐고 너.
아빠야, 아빠.
당신 아들이 아니라고 몇 번 말해.
네 엄마를 사랑한다.
미친. 어차피 우리 불륜이야.
아빠랑 좀.
아빠, 나 어떡해.
Zhang Pan-su, a rich and ruthless businessman, ran a global empire but lived in a cold, broken marriage. At the top of his game, he ruled his world with sharp decisions and no patience for resistance. One morning at the office, his trusted department head of 21 years, Choi, walked in with an update. Almost every tenant at the Zhongwandong Plaza had been cleared out, except one. A small woodcraft shop refused to leave. Pan-su didn't waste a second. He sent his enforcer, Bang Manchiol, to handle it. Manchiol stormed into the shop, where owner Kim Jong-gi was busy with his workers. When Jong-gi refused to sign the termination notice, things turned ugly. Manchiol threatened him with a wood-cutting machine. The message was clear: sign or get hurt. Terrified, Jong-gi gave up and signed. That night, Pan-su sat alone in a high-end restaurant. The quiet didn't last long. CEO Yang showed up uninvited. From the look on Pan-su's face, this wasn't a welcome guest. Their talk quickly turned cold. When Pan-su dismissed him as uneducated, Yang's pride took a hit. He slammed the table and stormed out, burning with anger. Later, Pan-su met his powerful father-in-law, who also happened to be his boss. He confidently reported that their Chengdu project would launch first, leaving CEO Yang in the dust. The next day, after checking the Zhongwandong site with Manchiol, Pan-su craved something different. He walked into a small noodle stall and ordered fish ramen. The elderly owner looked surprised. A man like him didn't belong here. Across the room, a quiet student named Kim Dong-hyun sat eating unnoticed. As Pan-su got up to pay for his disappointing meal, Dong-hyun also stood, answering a call that pulled him back to school. But his wallet was gone. The shop owner turned to Pan-su, asking him to cover the student's bill. Clearly annoyed, Pan-su paid anyway. Dong-hyun thanked him sincerely. As Pan-su walked out, the old woman said something odd. He'd be getting a gift soon. On his way home, Pan-su's car came to a sudden stop, blocked by a slow-moving garbage truck. Frustrated, he stepped out, lit a cigarette, and made a quick call. Just above, on a nearby school rooftop, a dangerous scene was unfolding. Dong-hyun was up there, ordered by bullies to retrieve a girl's shoe stuck on a TV antenna. He crept toward the edge, trying to keep his balance. But one wrong step, and he fell. In a tragic twist, Dong-hyun landed right on top of Pan-su. Both were knocked out and rushed to the hospital. Time passed. Then Pan-su finally opened his eyes. But something was wrong. A nurse walked in and called him student. Moments later, he looked to the side and saw himself in the next bed, still unconscious. His confusion turned to panic. When the nurse said his father was coming, he snapped. His father had been dead for years. But then the man walked in, Kim Jong-gi, the same woodshop owner he had crushed before. Pan-su turned to a mirror and froze. The reflection staring back at him wasn't his. It was Dong-hyun's. After the accident, doctors said Dong-hyun had memory loss. But the truth was far stranger. Pan-su was trapped inside the teenager's body. With nowhere else to go, he was taken in by Kim Jong-gi, now his so-called father, and forced to live as a high school student. While lying in bed, a memory hit him. This was the same boy whose meal he had paid for at the noodle shop. Hoping for answers, he went back to the stall, only to learn it had shut down a long time ago. And just like that, the ruthless businessman found himself stuck in a life he never wanted, surrounded by strangers who called him by the wrong name. This wasn't just a second chance. It was a collision of fates. This was the dude in me. Still searching for a way out, Pan-su returned to his real home. Inside, his wife, Ha Seo-yeon, was in tears. But when a teenage boy walked in and somehow knew the door code, she panicked. Terrified, she grabbed a weapon and called for help. Pan-su tried to explain who he really was, but to her, he was just a stranger. Security arrived and dragged him to the police station. Since he looked like a minor, they let him go. Refusing to give up, Pan-soo rushed to the hospital and tried to get back into his real body. But nothing worked. Then, things got worse. Man Cheol, his trusted enforcer, walked in and saw him tampering with the hospital equipment. Mistaking him for a hitman sent by CEO Yang, Man Cheol was ready to strike. But before he could act, a doctor stepped in and stopped it just in time. Kim Jong-gi took Pan-soo back home. That night at dinner, a massive plate of food was placed in front of him, just like Dong-hyun always ate. Without thinking, Pan-soo cleaned the plate, confused by the hunger he couldn't control. The next morning, he followed Dong-hyun's father to school. In the staff office, Jong-gi told the vice principal the fall wasn't an accident. It was the result of relentless bullying. The school denied everything. Tension rose, but Pan-soo stepped in, vowing to get to the bottom of it himself. Back in class, Pan-soo sat next to Jaek, another quiet student who was often targeted. Over the following days, he saw how brutal life had been for Dong-hyun, mocked, pushed around, ignored. Then, one day it happened again. A girl named Hyun-young was surrounded and bullied. Pan-soo didn't wait. He stepped in fast, forcing the group to back off. But they didn't stay quiet for long. They called him out behind the school, ready to make him pay. But they had no idea who they were dealing with. Drawing on a lifetime of street fights and raw instinct, Pan-soo took them down one by one.
알겠냐 이 병신아!
Shocked and scared, the bullies ran. That night, the same group cornered Jaek in the school bathroom. But luck wasn't on their side. Pan-soo happened to be there. He stepped out and shut it down fast. While breaking up the attack, he grabbed one of their phones. What he found inside changed everything. As he walked home, Pan-soo dug deeper into the phone. It was full of proof, photos, and videos showing just how badly students have been bullied. Then came the real shock, a video of Dong-hyun being pushed to climb up and grab a shoe from TV antenna, the exact moment that led to the fall and a body swap. The next day, Pan-soo wasn't subtle. He confronted the bullies in full force and didn't hold back. After knocking them down, he made it clear if they ever tried it again, every file would go straight to the police. The story then shifts to Ha Seo-yeon, Pan-soo's wife. In a dark corner of a parking lot, she was caught in a secret affair with Choi, the longtime department head from her husband's company. But before they could leave, CEO Yang showed up. He made it clear. Either she helped him win the next big project, or he'd expose everything to her father. Backed into a corner, she gave in. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Man Cheol stood guard over Pan-soo's original body, still in a coma. Then, Dong-hyun showed up and asked to talk. After a long discussion, Man Cheol began to believe the impossible. Pan-soo's soul was now inside this teenager. His doubts faded even more during lunch. When someone touched Pan-soo's face, he exploded with the same sharp temper he was known for. That moment convinced Man Cheol. He warned Pan-soo that CEO Yang might be planning something dangerous, and he had to keep protecting the real body at all costs. Back at school, Pan-soo couldn't take it anymore. He called Man Cheol, begging for a new place to stay. He was done living under Kim Jong-gi's roof. But Man Cheol told him to wait. Right then, Hyun-young accidentally bumped into him, dropping her stuffed toy. Pan-soo picked it up and followed her home. What he found left him speechless. Her mother was Mi-sun, the woman who used to run the ramen shop he once visited. When Mi-sun saw a strange teenage boy calling her daughter by name, she snapped. Furious, she yelled at him, not realizing the boy in front of her was really Pan-soo. On the way back, Pan-soo's mind started racing. He suddenly remembered, Mi-sun had once been his girlfriend years ago. The pieces began to fall into place. He quickly called Man Cheol and asked him to collect a hair sample from his real body in the hospital. Meanwhile, he quietly pulled a strand from Hyun-young at school. The DNA results confirmed what he feared and hoped. Hyun-young was his daughter. From that moment, everything changed. Pantsu made it his mission to keep her safe. When bullies targeted her again, he stepped in without hesitation. Luckily, the teacher arrived before things got out of hand. Later, he gave Manchiol one clear order: make sure those bullies never try it again. Then, Pantsu visited Mi-sun at her small food stall and told her that Hyun-young was being bullied. Mi-sun broke down, overcome with emotion. She lashed out, blaming Pantsu for walking out of their lives years ago, never knowing the boy standing before her was actually the man she once loved. At the same time, Seo-yeon made a bold move. She went straight to her father, the powerful company chairman who also ran a gangster network. There, she accused Pantsu of stealing 3 billion won from the business. Elsewhere, Pantsu sat in a car with Manchiol, who didn't hold back. He told Pantsu to shape up, drop the weight, and sharpen his image. He also suggested putting Hyun-young in self-defense training. They both signed up at a gym, and the transformation began. Pushed hard by Manchiol, Pantsu trained day after day. Still trapped in Dong-hyun's body, he pushed past his limits. The results were clear. The extra weight melted off, muscle replaced it, and his whole look changed. He even ditched his glasses for contacts. Suddenly, he wasn't just another student, he was the new talk of the school. One afternoon, Pantsu visited Hyun-young's home. Inside, he found her old childhood photos. The sight hit him hard. He had missed it all: her first steps, her birthdays, every moment. Silently, he took photos of the pictures. Then, on a nearby shelf, he found something else: a handwritten notebook. It was from Mi-sun, filled with memories and the pain of a love that never faded. One night, Kim Jong-gi was walking home through a narrow alley after closing his workshop when a gang surrounded him, demanding money. As they moved in to attack, Pantsu arrived just in time. But before he could fight back, Jong-gi pulled him into a tight embrace, shielding him from harm.
윤영희 씨, 정신 차리라고.
The next day, Pantsu took action. He told Manchiol to send in the troops. In a swift and brutal strike, the gang's hideout was raided and crushed, clean, fast, and with no mercy. Back at school, things were changing. Thanks to Pantsu's training, Hyun-young began to carry herself with strength. She no longer backed down and even pushed back against her bullies. Outside the classroom, Pantsu paid another visit to Mi-sun's food stall. But trouble followed. A rude customer started harassing her, and Pantsu didn't hesitate. He stepped in and took the man down.
그만해. 네가 뭔데 날 자꾸 미선이라고 불러?
Afterward, he sat Mi-sun down and told her everything. The boy in front of her wasn't really Dong-hyun. It was Pantsu, the man she had once loved. At first, she refused to believe it. But as the truth came out and the pain surfaced, her denial gave way to understanding, though her anger still burned from years of being abandoned. At school, Hyun-young was finally starting to fit in. She got invited to a party, only to walk straight into a setup. The real plan was to shame her and force her to drink. At the same time, Jaek overheard a group of girls bullying a male student and bragging about the trap they had set for Hyun-young. Alarmed, he called Pantsu, who was with Mi-sun. Without wasting a second, Pantsu raced to the party. When he arrived, it was already happening. His daughter was being humiliated in front of everyone. Pantsu stepped in fast and took the bullies down, ending the nightmare before it got worse. Soon after, Manchiol came back from the hospital and met Pantsu in a park. He didn't come empty-handed. He brought a shocking revelation. Ha Seo-yun wasn't just cheating. She had joined forces with CEO Yang in a plan to take Pan-soo out for good. Pan-soo acted fast, telling Man-cheol to pass a secret message to his father-in-law, the powerful mafia boss. As time went on, Pan-soo and Hyun-young grew closer. But the bond took a painful turn. Hyun-young, not knowing the truth, started to develop feelings for the boy she thought was Dong-hyun. In response, Pan-soo shut it down quickly. For her sake, he pulled away. At the hospital, CEO Yang made his move. He slipped inside with one goal: kill Pan-soo's real body while it was still in a coma. But just as he was about to strike, everything changed. Pan-soo suddenly woke up. The shock hit Yang so hard he collapsed on the spot. Now fully awake in Pan-soo's original body, Dong-hyun returned home. He hugged his father, but the man looked at him with confusion. This wasn't the son he knew.
아파. 나 어떡해.
Moments later, Pan-soo showed up too. The three sat together as Pan-soo laid out the truth. After taking it in, Pan-soo invited Dong-hyun to come with him to visit Mi-sun. But peace didn't last. At Mi-sun's house, CEO Yang appeared again, this time ready to finish the job. A brutal fight broke out. Still in Dong-hyun's body, Pan-soo tried to fight back, but was overwhelmed. He was knocked to the ground with a blow from fire extinguisher. In a moment of courage, Mi-sun dashed into the kitchen and came back holding a gas tank. She threatened to blow the whole place if they didn't leave. Her fearless stand worked. Yang backed down and walked out defeated.
그 미안하다는 한마디로 용서가 될 것 같아, 이 나쁜 자식아!
잠깐만.
A few days later, Pan-soo was called to a high-stakes meeting at his father-in-law's estate. Ha Seo-yun was there too, sitting calmly, but the truth was about to surface. With help from Dong-hyun, who guided him through a hidden earpiece, Pan-soo exposed everything: Seo-yun's affair and her secret deal with CEO Yang. Surprisingly, his father-in-law already knew. He had seen through her lies and had made his choice. All of his inheritance would go to Pan-soo. Trying to deflect, Seo-yun fired back. She accused Pan-soo of having an affair and claimed he had an illegitimate child. But Pan-soo stayed composed. The child, he explained, was from before their marriage. And now, he intended to return to that child and her mother to make things right. His father-in-law respected his honesty and his decision. Outside, Pan-soo shared an emotional hug with Dong-hyun. But the moment didn't last. Driven by rage, Seo-yun charged at them with her car, hitting them both. The impact sent them to the hospital. At the hospital, still trapped in Dong-hyun's body, Pan-soo looked at Hyun-young and broke down. He apologized for all the years he missed for not being there as her father. Then his eyes closed. Dong-hyun collapsed next to him moments later. As doctors rushed to prepare them for surgery, Pan-soo drifted into a deep sleep and into a dream. There he saw the elderly noodle stall owner once again, the same woman he had helped years ago. She left him with a clear message to take care of his family. Then Pan-soo woke up. He had survived. 6 months later, Pan-soo's life had changed completely. He started a restaurant business with Mi-sun and their daughter, Hyun-young. Man-cheol joined them, helping keep things running smoothly. Meanwhile, Dong-hyun returned to school, free from fear, finally living the quiet, normal life he had once only dreamed of. And with that, their long, twisted journey came to an end. So the moral of the story is, never underestimate a bowl of fish ramen from a rundown shop. One bite, and you could end up in a teenager's body with a surprise daughter and a second chance at life.